CEOs and front office management love to talk about pushing the envelope, but only a handful of them have the stomach and capital to take the big risks of media disruption.
Our next guest spends his days analyzing the pros and cons of major moves by media corporations that have become household names. Peter Csathy is the founder and CEO of Creative Media and author of the upcoming book, Fearless Media 2.0, an insider's guide to today's new media world and where it's going. Welcome.
Hi, Peter.
Thanks. Good to be here.
So let's talk about the fearless. What are the biggest factors that make a company fearless? Does that mean that it's a good place to work?
Fearless means that these are the media tech companies that made the boldest and most audacious moves of the year. And so they're the ones who really shook up the industry. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're successful or they will be successful with what they've done, but they're the ones who are really changing the rules of the game.
Good place to work?
Could be. Definitely an interesting place to work because they're pushing the envelope. But some of the ones that we'll be talking about, I'm sure that they're a little bit crazy right now.
Okay. So let's look, Peter, at your Fearless 5 of 2018 in order of their audacity, starting with number 5, the Madison Square Garden Company.
Yeah, probably one that you wouldn't really think about, but MSG, they're the ones who have obviously Madison Square Garden, a couple sports teams, but now they're launching a massive dome project in Vegas and in London that seats 15 to 20,000 people, and it's a sphere. It's actually a sphere, and it's covered from top to bottom with LED lighting, and so you can imagine it's complete immersive entertainment.
Oh, interesting.
All right. Yeah. Number 4 on the Fearless list, the new subscription video player company from Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman. How could they capitalize on a blind spot for its competitors?
Well, the blind spot for all the major, like Netflix's, Hulu's, and what they call the SVODs, subscription video on demand, is that very few of them really cater to a mobile audience, surprisingly. So like Netflix, only about 20% of their audience is actually mobile driven, which I think is shocking. And so you see Jeffrey Katzenberg, of course, one of the biggest names in Hollywood, making a massive bet. He raised $1 billion to launch what he calls Quibi, which is short for Quick Bites, and it's a mobile first subscription video on demand service.
Oh, okay. You mentioned them. Our next door neighbor here, number 3 on your list, Netflix.
Yes, yeah. Netflix, of course. You know, we all have it. We all pay the money for it. I'm not as convinced that Netflix's underlying business model will scale ultimately, but what Netflix does is they're just audacious with how much money they're spending, how they're pushing the envelope in that. They've spent $13 billion this year on content.
Wow.
That's it. And so we all know that from an original standpoint, that's their game. That's what draws us in. This year alone, 700 plus original television programs and more than 80 feature films.
And what's amazing, they've been able to pivot as well. They started with the things that we get in the mail.
Yeah.
That wasn't working. They almost seemed to fail, and then now they're bigger than ever.
Absolutely. So you have to commend them for being willing to leave behind what was really successful for them, and that was the DVD business.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that Blockbuster had a chance.
Right.
And they didn't do what Netflix did.
Right. Number 2, Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Probably surprising to a lot of people watching, but if you're a Prime member, then you have Amazon Prime Video, and you have the music service too. That's just included.
Right.
And Amazon, so they're in the video business. They're second, by the way, to Netflix in the United States in terms of subscribers. They're in the music business, and they're also now increasingly all over the place when it comes to retail malls, Whole Foods. Think about them. Some of the language that we use in the media business these days is multi-platform, meaning that the content, the shows like this, are everywhere on mobile, on your TV set, and everything. I think that Amazon is the single most multi-platform media company in the world.
Right.
But it's not your number 1.
No.
Number 1 on the list for Fearless of 2018.
Yes.
MoviePass.
MoviePass. So a much smaller company.
I'm not a failing company.
But like I said, not necessarily successful.
Yeah.
But what MoviePass has done is they truly bet the company. You know, the company that came in and bought MoviePass completely bet the company, and so far from an economic standpoint, it's not working well for them.
Right.
But what they did is they defined a completely new way to go out, see the movies, and really shaking up the movie theater business. And so I would say that no company like MoviePass, more than MoviePass, really lit a fire or scared the media and entertainment business. And I believe that movie subscription services are here to stay, and it wouldn't surprise me if Amazon's going to ultimately include one of those to get you into Prime.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. All right. Peter Csathy is the founder and CEO of Creative Media and author of the upcoming book, Fearless Media 2.0. For more information, follow him on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks. Good to be here.